you ever thought about playing with perspective? Hi, I'm Jennifer L. Kelly, middle school language arts teacher, professor of education, and author of the Lucia Chronicles. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about perspective. Perspective is one of those things that can be kind of confusing. A lot of people are very familiar with first person, which is the use of the pronoun I in writing, but there are some other perspectives that may be fun to dabble with in your writing. Second person is when the author uses you as the pronoun. Typically, that's not common in narrative writing. That's more common in speeches or persuasive writing. And then there's third person, which you may have encountered, which is the use of the pronouns he, she, and they. However, third person can get a little complicated because there's third person limited, which you only know the perspective of one character, much like first person, except the difference in the pronouns. But then there's third person omniscient, which is where you're kind of like an all-knowing, all-seeing part of the story, and you know multiple characters' thoughts, feelings, and perspectives. Typically, I stick with first person in my writing, and that's because I like to create a really empathetic experience and really put myself and my reader into that character's shoes so that they can really get connected with the story. However, in my third book, I decided to challenge myself as a writer, and that's what writing's all about, right? To challenge yourself and to expand your skill set. So in my third book, I decided to write from first person, but from 3 different characters' points of view. And mainly that happened because my protagonist, her perspective was kind of limited. There were things that were happening in the story that the reader needed to know that my protagonist would not be capable of knowing. So I decided to use 3 different perspectives, and then I also decided to challenge myself further in both my second book and my third book by including a portion that was written in the third person in the past. And that was to give the reader even more background knowledge on specific events that had happened that kind of paved the way for what was happening currently in the story. So, do you like to play with perspective? And if so, how do you challenge yourself in regards to using different perspectives in your story? Do you always just stick with first person, or do sometimes you decide to dabble in third person? Maybe you always think that you can only really write in first person, and by trying to write in a different perspective, maybe you'll find that you actually prefer one of those perspectives better. So let me know in the comments if you'd like more videos on point of view and perspective. Maybe not from an author's perspective, but maybe not from an author's point of view, but maybe from a strategic point of view as a language arts teacher. And I can try and break down how to write in different perspectives and what all that entails in a future video. So, do you play with perspective? If you do, let me know. And if you don't, I think you should. In the meanwhile, happy reading and happy writing.